From Mason's Edition, over the hill, Grahamstown, Baintown, from everywhere they're coming. They're the people's choice, the Saxon Superstars.
Hello? Who's in the morning?
Boots!
Yeah, yo, George, we're finishing.
Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, the FTX saga continues as the Supreme Court has appointed joint provisional liquidators following the appointment of Brian Sims KC last week. Today, the court also appointed Kevin Cambridge and Peter Greaves of PricewaterhouseCoopers, which, according to the Securities Commission of the Bahamas, was done to further protect the interests of clients, creditors, and other stakeholders globally of the embattled company. Officials added that given the magnitude, urgency, and international implications of the unfolding events with regard to FTX, the Commission recognized that it had to and moved swiftly to use its regulatory powers under the Digital Assets and Registered Exchanges or DARE Act to further protect the interests of clients, creditors, and other stakeholders. Now, the Commission says it expects to engage with other supervisory authorities on the regulator-to-regulator basis as this event is multi-jurisdictional in nature. While police officials said over the weekend that they have begun their investigations into this matter, the Commission said today that they will extend its full assistance to the police if and when required. Meantime, the Minister its full assistance to the police if and when required. Meantime, the Minister of Investments and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, as well as the National Security Minister Wayne Munro, speaking to the issue today, assuring that every effort is being made to safeguard the sector and also debunking rumors about assets of FTX officials. Theo Seeley has the details in this report.
Foreign Investments Minister, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper says he is confident that the Bahamas Securities Commission will do due diligence with sorting out the current saga where FTX has gone belly up and is currently in the process of filing for bankruptcy.
I can tell you, though, that I am confident about the regulators. I'm confident about the laws governing financial services in the Bahamas. We've had curveballs thrown at us before in financial services, and we persevered. We've pivoted in financial services many times, and I expect that we're going to do likewise in the digital assets business.
Will this newest scandal affect the face of the country on the world's stage?
We have a very good brand in the international community as it relates to financial services, as it relates to doing business in the Bahamas, and I am confident that we are going to pivot appropriately and we will persevere.
Meantime, the National Security Minister, Wayne Munro, maintains that the FTX CEO has not been detained.
I can say, for my information, no one has been detained by the police. I wouldn't like to disclose anything beyond that.
The Deputy Prime Minister says any further comments on the FTX saga will now be made by the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, who has carriage of the country's finance portfolio as well. Theo Seeley, Eyewitness News.
Good afternoon, Bahamas, and welcome. It's always good to have you with us. Thank you for tuning in. You know what to do when you get here, and that is please share, so that we get the message out. We know that the media has been bought out. In fact, some of the media is on the trip right now. Well, he's back. Was on the trip to Egypt with the Prime Minister himself. So we know exactly what's going on in this country. They were trying to silence the Bahamian public. That's what they were trying to do. So thank you for being here. We appreciate all of you who have tuned in from wherever you are tuned in from YouTube, whether you're broadcasting from YouTube or the Lincoln Bain page or Bahamian Evolution page or the COI page, Coalition of Independence, or if you're on Facebook or many of our other platforms that we are on right now. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bahamas is embroiled in its greatest challenge ever. And finally, we got, after a week, we saw that the Deputy Prime Minister, who's the Minister of Investments, was willing to comment on Brian McCarthy on from Fire Festival about his coming back to the Bahamas, but he was not willing to touch on FTX. A whole entire week has passed, and our government that every time they come in is embroiled in corruption that embarrasses us internationally, refuse to talk about the FTX saga. We're going to update you on this and help you understand what's going on, cryptocurrencies, et cetera, et cetera. But we just wanted to give you an update from government officials and what's really happening. There are media outlets from around the world saying that SBF, Sam, is under Bahamian supervision, under supervision by the local authorities. This is absolutely not so. There's nothing in our law that allows for anything like that. We do not understand why anyone would say that. This is not kindergarten. Our authorities don't supervise anybody. That's not how our laws work. It's either you're under arrest or you're not under arrest. But there's no such process that's called supervising someone. We are confused that the international community keeps reporting that. We don't understand where that would have come from, but hopefully they will get the actual facts and stop doing that. And so we're going to go from there. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get through all of this tonight. Please stay tuned with us. So we have a lot to talk about. We're going to open the lines to allow you to ask questions to make sure you understand exactly what's happening. But we have a lot to talk about to update you on what's really happening. Okay. If you've tuned into our last broadcast, you would have learned quite a bit of things. About what's going on, but we're going to update you some more at this time. So, where do we begin? The Bahamas has found itself in another embarrassing situation. Each and every time the Progressive Liberal Party comes to power, we are embarrassed internationally without fail. There has never been one instance of a Progressive Liberal Party administration where we did not find ourselves embarrassed on the international stage. This is probably the worst of the worst. We can go back as far as the Commission of Inquiry, that was to do with Joe Lida, that the movie Blow was about, and Pablo Escobar, who took over Norman's Key, while our governments allowed them to do whatever they wanted to do and sold us out to allow drugs to get into the United States. Our prime minister at the time went on the media in the United States and he basically, talked his way out of it. He said, "Well, you have the DEA and the CIA and this A and that A. You don't expect our little country to stop them." While he knew that he was actually aiding and abetting in what they were doing. We have to be real with our history. He is the man called the father of our nation, and they did many great things in the first 10 years. After that, he did some wrong. And so, just like we can talk about the wrong that our heroes in the Bible did, people that we revere in the Bible did, Noah did some wrong, Moses did some wrong, and it's a part of their history. We can't cover up the wrong that our politicians have done. Okay, and so we definitely need to be real about it. You can go further to sagas of Harachi and Peter Nygard, and it's not only the Progressive Liberal Party, it's also the Free National Movement. I hear the Free National Movement leader making statements. They should be embarrassed to do so. We have suffered through 5 years of torture and torment from them, and we're not interested in anything that they have to say. But what we're going to do now is update you and the international community who are watching about this. They are reaching out. They're trying to find out what's going on in the ground, what's going on in the Bahamas, and so we think it'll be good for us to update them on what's going on. And so you've heard the report from the deputy prime minister. Of course, the prime minister is on the run along with Sam. And so Sam is on the run. In fact, you can find him on social media. He's not running there, but Sam seems to be an international fugitive hiding out in the Bahamas at this time. The prime minister also seems to be on the run because he had a scheduled tour of the government house with the media, and he ran from that tour, and he canceled the media being at that tour, and and the media thought that the whole tour was canceled. However, the tour still went on without the media being present. All of a sudden, the party that is about PR, the party that always wants the media and everyone there, the party that is sending pictures of them partying all over the world and sending pictures of their caviar and their $1,000 caviar and their steak and their steak and mushrooms and their vacationing, because we're getting more pictures of them vacationing than actually working for us. This party that loves PR all of a sudden canceled the media's opportunity to see what's going on with Government House. And then the media found out that the tour actually went on without them. And it was because the Prime Minister didn't want to have to answer questions, because at this time, any questions he asks may incriminate him. How do we find ourselves in this position once again? The Prime Minister may have aided and abetted in the actions of this criminal who ran from Hong Kong. And they told this story that, oh, he was leaving because China changed their rules. He was in Hong Kong. He was in Hong Kong, okay, which is actually a part of China, but they treat Hong Kong separately. We do not believe that he ran because of any rule changes in China. We believe that he ran because he knew that they were about to collapse and the bottom was about to fall out on his empire. And he knew that the regulators in Hong Kong are very strict. Everyone knows that they have a very reputable reputation there. And so he knew that he would be in problems in Hong Kong and that the penalties would be stiff. And so he ran to the Bahamas. And like I've said to you before, this was the decision that caused me to decide that something is wrong and I'm leaving FTX. And so he came to the Bahamas, and he came here again with talk, some tokens that were not really valued anything. I'm going to explain all of this to you and break this down for you so you can understand it properly, and then I'll open the lines for you to ask your questions. He came here with talks. The Bahamas has a reputation for having corrupt leaders, especially when the Progressive Liberal Party is in power. Everything is for sale. And so that is the reputation. I heard the Deputy Prime Minister saying that we have a good reputation as it relates to finances, etc. Then why are we constantly blacklisted? We do not have a good reputation. We have a reputation for being a pirate nation where criminals go to hide their funds. That is the reputation we have. And so this embarrasses us even more. There was the Panama Papers that involved us. There were the Paradise Papers that was about us. And now there's this that is embarrassing us to the whole world. And so there were many rumors, I would say, that is going on about what's going on with Sam and where is he and what's happening with their company. Another embarrassing situation was the fact that our SEC claimed to have seized all of his assets. They claimed. And then we saw that despite them claiming that his assets were seized, his plane was actually able to leave this country. His plane was able to leave this country and go elsewhere. When the plane was one of his assets that was supposed to be seized. We also heard that there were withdrawals going on. While the license was canceled, the company was supposed to be shut down, and he also made certain announcements. But of course, they did nothing. Now, here's where the problem comes in. And this is where these kinds of countries get themselves in problems all the time. Public officials should never accept gifts and bribes, especially from new companies without a proper reputation or a company that you just don't know about. You should not accept gifts. It's a Trojan horse. If a drug dealer comes to town and starts giving out gifts to everyone, that makes it suspicious. If he starts giving gifts to police officers, how will you look at those police officers? If a drug dealer comes to town and starts giving out gifts to police officers, what would be your impression of the police officers? If powerful people start giving gifts to police officers, how would you feel about the police officers? If persons start giving gifts to police officers, what's going to happen when it's time for that same police officer to investigate that person? Do you feel that the police officer will be objective? Do you feel that they would carry out their duties professionally? Why should the police be put in that situation? Tell me. Well, I'm going to show you. This is where the big problem comes in. This is Zoe Gibson slash Boleg, the daughter of Allison Maynard Gibson, who is the lawyer for FTX. And the daughter works at FTX. It says Mrs. Zoe Gibson. And this is a post by the Royal Bahamas Police Force. They posted this. And this was on the 31st of October, 2022. This was a mere 15 days ago. 15 days ago, while SBF is desperate, running around the world trying to find money, trying to raise 10 or 20 billion dollars 15 days ago, while SBF is trying to raise money around the world because he knows that the bottom is falling out. 15 days ago. What he decided to do was make friends with the police because he knows what's coming. And what the police did, here is the commissioner of police. In Bahamas, this is the highest officer in the land. He has a constitutional position. No one is higher than him. He takes instructions from nobody. He is the commissioner of police, the top law enforcement officer. When Parliament is prorogued or shut down for elections, etc., dissolved, I should say, he runs the country. That's how powerful his position is. He is responsible for law and order. And so what SBF did was start giving gifts to the police. Now, he didn't buy patrol cars or radio sets or anything that the police might actually have a need for. He bought the police some nice, nifty gifts. He bought them. He bribed the police force with Alcatel tablets. Lots and lots of Alcatel tablets. $100 Alcatel tablets. And this is what the police said. The police said Ms. Zoe Boleg of FTX Digital Markets paid a courtesy call on Commissioner Clayton Fernandez and presented the force with tablets. There was once a police officer called Ellison Greenslade, who was the assistant commissioner in Grand Bahama. And on him leaving to come back to Nassau, persons appreciated his work and they decided to buy him some gifts as a going away present. That was a big deal. That was a big deal where persons protested saying, the police, you can't take gifts. You shouldn't take gifts. Even though it's a going away present, you can't take gifts from people. And it was a big deal, and he almost lost major opportunity for promotion after that. It was used against him. Now here we are, the same police who are being called to go and arrest and question this gentleman a week later, has not even questioned him. They have not arrested him. They have not touched him, as you heard the Minister of National Security said. Nothing has been done. You have enough evidence to freeze all of a person's asset, but you haven't even questioned them. You have enough evidence to suspend their business license, to stop them from operating, but you haven't even questioned them. You haven't taken them in for questioning. The law says that we must not only avoid corruption, but the appearance of corruption. In this Bahamas, we are suffering from an epidemic of corruption. An epidemic of corruption. Now, someone explain to me how a week after all of this, the whole world is looking at this. This man has lied, said fraudulent things publicly, withdrawing money when his assets are supposed to be frozen. We have persons who were key to his organization that left the country just before all of this went down. In fact, while the gifts was going to police officers, we had someone critical to his organization left the country and went to Dubai. Our government is apparently so compromised that they cannot act. When you are in that position, the only thing left is international embarrassment. A week later, and the Minister of Finance has not made a statement as it relates to this. A week later. A week. Let that sink in. We had an interesting response from the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Minister of Foreign Affairs. Before I go to that, I just want you to see that uh, this is my FTX account. It's still live. It's still live, um, and FTX is still asking persons. FTX is still offering you money for trades. Uh, get deposit funds and get free crypto with trades over $10. It's still live. How is this possible? They're in bankruptcy in the US, they're in insolvency here in the Bahamas, and they're also in bankruptcy in Antigua and Barbuda. Documents on that. How did we get here? So we were informed as we started to do investigations because our team is investigating this thoroughly, and we were informed that Michelle Gomez, who we know is a part of this whole thing, we were told that Michelle Gomez left town when all of this was going down. Um, uh, Ladies and gentlemen, we need change. This person who's a part of FTX left the Bahamas Right before everything, the bottom dropped out, went to Dubai, then went to England, and they're probably back in Dubai. There's no extradition treaty, we're told. I really, really am at a loss with all of this. The plane, his private plane, left the Bahamas. The media internationally saw that our police didn't. Our authorities didn't. They did nothing to stop him. Is it because he bought them tablets? This is how our government operates. He has still yet to even be questioned. And no, he is not being held by our authorities and not even being questioned by our authorities. In fact, in all of this, uh, his Albany, and we don't know if he's really there. We have no idea where he is. No one has any idea where he is. We don't know if he's in the Bahamas. Him tweeting that he's in the Bahamas means absolutely nothing. We have no idea where he is. His apartment is up for sale. His five-bedroom apartment is up for sale for $40 million. $40 million. How could he be selling off assets when all of his assets are supposed to be seized? That is a crime. He's attempting, he removed his plane because that's a very valuable asset worth tens of millions. He removed that from the country successfully. And now he's selling his house. I saw the pictures of his house. He was living the life in our country. He was living the life. We were trying to line up those pictures for you. I think we're going to be able to do that for you. But I can tell you and I can assure you, the young man was living the life in our country. Let me see if we have it to show you. Oh, yes, we have it. Oh, my God. Y'all want to see how this young man was living in our country? I'm going to show you how he was living. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that quick. Let me show you how this young man was living. Many of you might not. This is up and this is live. I'm going to show you how this young man was living in our country, and then we're going to get to some more. We have some more documents to show you. But I want you to see how he was living. So he came and he bought real estate in our country. They say $75 million worth of real estate. But the thing is, I don't see in that list of real estate that they have. Hold on, let's look at that list of real estate first. In that list of real estate, Albany, okay, we see one property that has that kind of value, and that is a property that he bought from the Albany Community Association, and it's for $30 million. So he had a property from the Albany Community Association for 6.75, another one for 4.5 million, another one for 9 million. So all of these properties. So I guess the one that he bought for 30, he's now selling for 40. Talk about a profit in a couple of months. This dude is gonna make, if that sells, he is gonna make 10 million profit in a matter of months. I mean, this is mind blowing. He's cutting a movie in the Bahamas. So if this is the property he bought that he's selling, sorry, for $40 million, If he bought that for 30 million and he's selling that for 40 million a couple months later, man, listen, man, that's mind blowing. That's mind blowing. But let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's look at the profit. What he's going to be profiting from. Just give me a sec as I pull it up for all of you. And then we get back to talking about our corrupt government and taking bribes from this criminal aiding and abetting his activities. So here is the website. It's on Seaside Real Estate. It's on Seaside Real Estate. And here are some of the pictures of the mansion. It's really interesting. Let me see if I can start from the beginning. Where do we go? Where do we go? Okay. Where do we start? Okay, let's start here. That's how we start? No, let me go from here. This is a dining area. This is 12,000 square feet. It's not moving. Why is it not moving? Let's go. Come on. It's not working for me. You think they pulled it down? It was just working a minute ago. Everything is frozen on the website all of a sudden. You don't know what's going on. Everything is frozen on the website. Let me see if I can refresh. Let's see if it'll still be there. Yep. So this is the okay. This is it. It's moving. There it is. It's another view. Um, it's another view. He's living in luxury. I mean, this is normal. Look at that. You know, beautiful. That's outside. The dining room here, not just now. It's beautiful. Look at the hall. Look at the marble tiles, and this is what they're selling. Beautiful, beautiful building. For those of you who have not seen it yet, don't know what that is, but this is a bedroom. You know, the view of the ocean, etc. It's another bedroom. Lots of pillows. All right, and so this is the building that he is selling. Lots of clothes in there. There's another picture. Very nice, very beautiful. Looks a lot like Bahamas. So the bathroom looks like a hotel room bathroom. It's very nice. Look at that. Again, lots of pillows. More views of a room. And so this is what's in the Bahamas. This is how we want Bahamians to be living. Look at the bathroom. Very nice. More of the room. More of the another room again. And so the very, very beautiful setup. TV area. It's kind of narrow for $1 million house. Okay, that's another TV area. That's bigger. Okay. Another view of the same TV area. Big TV on the wall. It's kitchen. Kitchen. Nice smooth countertop. Yeah. So that's kitchen. They have, you can see construction in the background. So I guess this is when this is building because when I looked at the pictures now, you saw cranes and stuff in the background. So this is for those of you who don't know, this is Albany. This is Albany in the Bahamas. Okay, so this is Albany in the Bahamas. Tiger Woods also lives here. Justin Timberlake also lives here. And this is the penthouse, the top floor, um, in their orchard building. Grand piano, etc., etc. So I don't know if he's selling it with the furniture. It better be for all that money. It's another pool area. You can see everything in the background. So it's a really nice building. Just wanted y'all to see this. This is everyone understands the value of the most except us Bahamians. Everyone understands our value except us. Look at it. Beautiful. Look how he's living. That's a fire in the middle there. Balcony. It's a balcony area. Yachts in the background. Okay, back to the beginning. So that's the pictures of uh, how this guy is living, and so this is how he's living in our country. It's interesting. Um, let me see what we got here. This is what he turned that into. Didn't it look so nice in the pictures? But this is him. Isn't that cute? This is a billionaire um, laying down, socks on, belly on, laying in a bean bag, just ruining that nice place. Come on, guy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Wow. So this is the prime minister with this gentleman, and the thing is, we don't have any proof that he gave bribes to the government directly, but he's known to give gifts to governments. He donated to the Democrats in the United States of America, and he was, I think, their second biggest donor to Biden. And so, there's no way he came to put an headquarters here and didn't give to our government. And if our government receives monies from him while he was committing fraud against the people, that means they received fraudulent funds. Okay, somebody says, whose money was he giving away? That's the question. And so the police in the Bahamas received the proceeds. If the police now arrest him, the police have received the proceeds of a crime. If the police in this country arrest SBF, and if they seize his property, saying that it's the proceeds of crime, then the tablets that the police receive from him are the proceeds of crime. Think about that. And the police received it. The top police officer in this country. Think about it. Now you will understand why the prime minister isn't responding. Now you will understand why the deputy prime minister in charge of investment just gave a vague statement saying that he has confidence in the regulators. Did he say he has confidence in the police? I don't remember him saying that. He has confidence in the regulators who allowed this company to slip in their fraudulent state. The same regulators who let this company slip in without doing proper checks. The same regulators who told the world that they seized his assets, but yet the man had the assets for sale on the market. Yet the man took his airplane and sent it out of the country with God knows what in it. The same. Bahamas, aren't you tired of getting embarrassed by the PLP and FNM? Aren't you tired? I'm tired. I'm tired. I think all of us are. So when you see, oh, sorry, that's the prime minister out partying. So when you see this, and the prime minister who literally swore for this young man, swore about the good he did to this country. God, I wish we had the video line. lined up, swore about the good that this gentleman did for our country. The prime minister was swearing for him. Our prime minister said that he has done so much good in this country. That's his words. That's his words. That's his words. He swore for him. And now look where we are. In a situation where our police force is compromised, our entire system is compromised, and we have failed our country as a people. And so now they have filed also for bankruptcy elsewhere. They filed for bankruptcy in where are they? Antigua and Barbuda. Let's see if we can pull that up for y'all. They filed for bankruptcy. Okay, we found it. They filed for bankruptcy in Antigua and Barbuda. I want you to look at this. Okay, hold on. Let's get that off there. They filed for bankruptcy in. Okay, give me one sec. Let's get that off there. In Antigua and Barbuda. Let's look at the document. Yes, guys, we are everywhere. So, there we go. So here's the document. This is voluntary. This is petition for bankruptcy. Voluntary petition for non-individuals filing for bankruptcy. And so the debtor's name is FTX Trading Limited. Other names, FTX.com. This is a 23-page document. It shows their address in Antigua and Barbuda in the city of St. John's, and it shows where they are. It says it's a corporation. Chapter 11, bankruptcy, is what they are going in. Were prior bankruptcy cases filed against them in the last 8 years? They said no. Any bankruptcy cases pending or being filed by a business partner and an affiliate? Yes. They said see Annex 1. Why is the case filed in this district? It says a bankruptcy case concerned debtors, affiliated, general partner, or partners pending, whatever. Does the debtor own or have possession of any real property or personal property that needs immediate attention? No. Okay. Debtor estimation of available funds. Funds will be available for distribution to unsecured creditors. Okay. Estimated number of creditors, more than 100,000. So that could be 1 million or 2 million. That could be any amount. So estimated number of creditors, more than 100,000. Now, this is in Antigua and Barbuda. So before we go on, I just want you to understand. They call this a Bahamian company. Let me just pause there for 1 sec so you could get a full understanding of this. They are calling this a Bahamian company, but we want to make this clear to everyone now. This company was in Hong Kong, but it was registered in Antigua and Barbuda. That is where them and all their lists of companies that I'm about to show you is located. This is an Antigua and Barbuda company. They were using us because of our slack regulations. They just put a headquarters here. They could have more than one headquarters. They could be headquartered in several countries. They were an Antigua and Barbuda company that was in Hong Kong. And they moved from Hong Kong and came here, but they are registered in Antigua and Barbuda. Focus. All right? And so our people accepted them, and there was a diabolical reason they came to us. I want you to stay focused. They just was putting a building here, and now the building is left in ruins and is unfinished and is right there on West Bay Street. So let's continue. This is where they are actually doing their bankruptcy. So watch. They have a bunch of creditors. It could be a million, it could be more. Estimated assets. They're in the range of 10. Let me see this good. Oh my God. Look at these numbers. Is this 10 billion to 50 billion? Jesus. Estimated assets 10 billion to 50 billion. How much is that in the Bahamas? They are in Antigua and Barbuda. That's where the money is. You see? Let's keep going. They were warned bankruptcy fraud is a serious crime, making a false statement, etc., and so on. All right? Imprisonment for up to 20 years or both. Declaration and signature. So here is the CEO in Antigua and Barbuda. He did this on the 11/11, so just a couple of days ago. That's on Friday. 11/11. And his name is John J. Ray. John J. Ray. All right, he printed his name, John J. Ray III, and this is the electronic signature. He's the chief executive officer. And so 10 to 50 billion dollars in Antigua and Barbuda. Wow. None of that, I guess, brought to us. He just bought some property here. FTX Trading Company is in Delaware. Declaration on the penalty of perjury. On the perjury. I'm sorry, I was giving you the wrong information. This is the filing in the U.S. This is actually the filing in the U.S., but it was saying where they are domiciled, where they are in Antigua and Barbuda. Okay? That's what this is. I'm sorry about that. Pending bankruptcy cases filed by the debtor and affiliates of the debtor. These are all of the companies. Almeida, all these different Almeida companies, all these transfer services, all of these companies that you're looking at now. Crypto Bahamas LLC. It's one of them. You haven't heard about that. FTX Gibraltar, FTX Canada, FTX Digital Assets. So all of these companies, FTX Hong Kong, FTX Europe, FTX Japan. This is all FTX Switzerland. Many different companies. Just want going through this, let you see all of the facts. Then we'll get to where we need to get to. FTX Ventures, all of these companies that you see here. Island Bay Ventures. Wow. All of these are still going. Transfer Zoo. 134 companies. 134 companies. And this is the signature of Samuel Bankman Fried. November 10th, 2022. Signed by him. All right. So this is a document signed by Sam. and they're showing which of these companies is owned by what company. So this is a tangled web of companies, one company hiding the next company. So you see, for example, 100% of B Transfer Services owned by BTC Africa. 100% of Equity B Transfer Services Limited AU is owned by B Transfer Service Limited. So all of these, Uganda, I mean, they are everywhere. So you can see all of this documentation is showing how you hide one company with the next company, the next company. All of this stuff is what goes on. I'm just scrolling through all of this. Maybe we'll make this available to you on the website. Just scrolling through all of this. You can pause or whatever later when you want to go back to see it. But we'll make this available on our website. But this is everything. And so I'll tell you that is how they operate. They hide companies within companies within companies within companies within companies to hide everything that they're doing. And if you don't have the proper regulators to deal with them, you won't know how to deal with it. Our government failed us on this. And they're continuing to fail us because what I'm showing you now, they could show you, they could talk to you, they could have a conversation, they could speak to you on this. We believe that they were in Hong Kong. Hong Kong was now cracking the whip and about to do some stuff because the bottom was about to fall out. He knew he couldn't get money. He was trying to raise money. He was trying to raise 10 to 20 billion dollars. So he knew he was about to be in problems because he knew that the whole system that they had set up was fake because they were operating with using tokens as assets. They were using tokens as assets, which shouldn't be. I gave the explanation on Steve's show yesterday. I'll try to break it down for you again. Tokens versus coin. They're similar. So cryptocurrency coins and tokens, they're similar, but they're a little different. So it's like you have a choice as an individual. You can buy a car or rent a car. Okay? If you buy the car, you're responsible for everything, the maintenance, etc., etc. That's your car. You got to pay for whatever. Okay? If you rent a car, you're not responsible for the maintenance of it, etc., etc. And so that's the difference. If you buy a car, that car is an asset. If you rent a car, that car is not an asset to you. You're renting that car. And so crypto coins has its own blockchain, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. And so they own that entire asset, which includes the blockchain. That's ownership. Tokens are just this imaginary kind of contract type system that uses someone else's blockchain in order to exist, in order to operate. And so it's a rental type of situation. The coin is like ownership. The token is like they're renting the services of someone else. And so technically, although it happens, a token should not be used as an asset. Just like you shouldn't declare a car you're renting as an asset. Now you could, if you could fool people, you could go to Miami and you could rent a Lamborghini and you could say, "Hey, look at my car," and no one will know the difference. You can go to Miami and you could rent a car and say, "Hey, this is my car," and no one will know unless they really look behind what's going on. Unless they say, "Let me see your title," which is what a regulator should do. The regulator should have come and said, "Okay, young man, let me see your title." But they didn't. And so if you rent a car, it's less investment than the first option. And that's why a lot of them choose to open tokens and not coins. But if you rent a car, you can rent, let's say a car rental, let's say you rent a car in the States and it costs $50 a day. You could rent 10 cars, this is $500 a day. you can look like you have a lot of cars. And so if people believe that that's your asset, they can believe, wow, this guy is rich. He has 10 cars. He's very wealthy. But in reality, you have vehicles you can use, you have cars you can use, but you don't own those cars. And that's where the bottom started to drop out on FTX. Because what they were using as assets were just tokens that they create, that there's nothing to support it, it's not real at all. And so we believe that they were looking for a way out. When they couldn't raise funding, they came across the Bahamas talking about cryptocurrency. And so the Bahamas was having all these talks about cryptocurrency. And he realizes the value of cryptocurrency. While most Bahamians don't know the value of what they have, and that's why the government is raping us and robbing us right now as it relates to this. When SBF heard about it, it's like, wow, I can use cryptocurrency. I can use cryptocurrency and we can, sorry, not cryptocurrency, carbon credits. I said the wrong thing. Sorry about that. I can use carbon credits as an asset to back up this fake facade that we have. And I believe that that was a scheme because our government announced to the Bahamian people that we were going to be launching our carbon credits to the world by the end of this year, which happens to be next month. And we were going to be turning over our carbon credits to FTX. This is where the crime and the aiding and abetting comes in. This is why they're afraid to even question him. You're not going to question your co-accomplice. They know exactly what they were doing with him. That's why they haven't questioned him yet. That's why he hasn't been arrested yet. This is our theory. And so they had already announced to the Bahamian people on several occasions that they were turning over our carbon credits that they said was worth trillions. Now, they could tell you where they get their figures from. But they said the industry is worth $33 trillion. And they're turning it over to him. And in turning it over to him, he would get the vast majority of the percentage and we would get the crumbs. He would get up to 80%. This reminds me of the oil deal. Oh God. They were gonna give us 12.5% or 12%. Yeah, 12% if they found oil. Saudi Arabia, the country gets 85%. The oil company gets the balance. In Norway, they get about 90%. The company gets the balance. But we were going to get 12%. Nonsense. Just like we get supposed to get 2%, $2 per ton of our aragonite. And we don't even collect that. These absolute imbeciles that are running this country were giving Sam and FTX our carbon credits. And they were going to partner with him and work with him and have these other side companies to be able to suck money from our natural resources. And they have tabled a bill called the National Investment Fund. The purpose of which is to take our assets and our carbon credits, etc., and make it so that companies like FTX could take our natural resources. Companies like Anthony Ferguson's CFAL can take our natural resources and our carbon credits, etc. This is the crime of the century. This is the same government that sold our electricity company on credit. Same company. Sorry, same party, same government. So while they was talking all this big talk and this hype talk, and they were talking about all this ingenuitive new laws that they put in place, regulatory process that they put in place. No, they didn't. They just passed a law. They didn't. What regulations? What regulations? There was an amendment to the DARE Act in 2022. I'm going to go through all that another time. But the DARE Act that they're talking about that satisfies us, etc., etc., I see nothing in there. Nothing. I'm looking at this act. It's 69 pages long. I see nothing in this act to protect the Bahamian people. Nothing. I'm looking. I'm looking. Let's go to the offensive. Let me pull this up for you. Let's look at this act. Let's look at this act. I want you to see this because Bahamians don't understand the seriousness of the situation that we're in. We're in trouble. And this party is doing what they've done every time to office. They're making an effort to rape and rob this country and get themselves rich. Let's look at this act. Because you keep hearing them talk about this DARE Act and how the ingenuity and all this kind of nonsense and how it's going to protect and here it is. All right, let me go back to the top. This is the DARE Act, all right? And this is the Digital Assets and Registered Exchanges Act 2020. So, show me when you see something that's going to protect us and going to keep them in check and check all their finances, etc. Prohibition to carry on unregistered digital asset business, registration of digital asset business. Okay, this is just the registration of a business. All right, financial requirements of digital assets business. Oh, let's go there. What are the financial requirements of a digital assets business? Okay, that's section 14, page 14. Let's go straight to that, and then we'll come back. Let's go to that because I want to see this. Oh, they even have a definition of a token in there. Asset token means a digital asset that represents a claim against the issuer that is intended to represent an asset and is embedded with underlying assets, derives its value from reference to an underlying asset, or is secured by an underlying asset, is backed by assets held as collateral for the primary purpose of encouraging price stability. Now, hold on. This is a token, asset token. So this is asset token, right? So this is like the token they say they have, right? This is the token it is. It means a digital asset that represents a claim against the issuer that is intended to represent an asset and is embedded with underlying assets. Now their token had no assets in it. It was not attached to anything. The token. So if our regulators were checking on this, they would have said, okay, you have a token. What is the underlying asset to this token? Where is this token getting its value from? We know where Bitcoin gets its value from with the mining of the Bitcoin and the algorithms that give it its value, etc., etc. Where is the value of the FTT, your token. And so if our regulators didn't use this DARE Act to determine the value of this token, they failed. Someone told them to overlook the fact that that token was an imaginary digital asset. See the law here? Is intended to represent an asset that is embedded with underlying assets or derives its value by reference of an underlying asset. What's the underlying asset of the FTT, of their token, the FTX token? It's secured by an underlying asset. Well, their token isn't secured by anything. This is our laws. Now they keep referring you to this law, but none of them would read the law because they know you are not going to read it. And the Deputy Prime Minister said today that we trust our regulators. What regulators read by this law? Or it is backed by assets held as collateral for the primary purpose of encouraging price stability. What price stability? They create their token and they determine what the price of that token is going to be, and they print as much as they want, and it's not backed by anything. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a problem that our regulators didn't go by their own rules. Compliance officer means a person appointed by a licensee and approved by the commission as a compliance officer, and includes a person whom compliance functions and obligations have been outsourced. Well, we heard persons reporting that the compliance officer for this FTX was once a compliance officer for a poker website, online gaming website, that was involved in a bunch of fraud. And 10 years later, somehow is now the compliance officer for FTX. They were doing some fraud where they could see the whole hand of gamers, and they were using it to take millions of dollars from the users. And now the same person is reportedly the compliance officer for FTX. Let's keep going. Let's go. We will go into page 14. So they got all this stuff here but tokens. All right. Digital token or token includes a virtual currency token, asset token, utility token, non-fungible token. That's the NFTs. All right. Any other digital representation of value, etc., etc. It looks like our regulators were not going by their own rules. All right, but let's keep going. Forms of digital asset business. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Prohibition to carry on. Okay, no person carry on without registration. Okay, we see that. They were registered, very much so. So at least they got that part right. Let's go. Let's keep going. Digital assets business as a digital activity. Okay, hold on. Let's go. Duty to notify change related to the application for registration. Okay. Financial requirements for digital assets business. Everybody look closely at your phone. Now this should be at least 2 pages long. The financial requirements of a digital assets business. Let me read it for you. I read you all the requirements in the DARE Act. It says registrants shall meet all financial requirements as may be prescribed. If you don't cry, you'll cuss. That means they could make up willy-nilly whatever the financial requirements are. They could say, hey, Sam, you come in here, you give us plenty of money? Okay, good, we like you. You ain't got to worry about nothing. This the DARE Act, y'all. You see how they hide everything from us by putting it in writing? It says financial requirements of the digital assets business. It says registrants shall meet all financial requirements as may be prescribed. Jesus Lord, hold on. I gotta take a pause there. I gotta take a pause there. I gotta take a pause. Jesus. This the groundbreaking act. This the groundbreaking transformative act that is meant to secure the investors and the general public and everything else. The Banana Republic Act. This is what they all over the world bragging about, and that other countries are going to want to copy their legislations. You think any other country looked at this and took them serious? Man, listen to me. Oh, Jesus. That's the act. And another crypto company exchange came behind them and just registered. So now there's two. They didn't come because we had regulations. They came because we don't have regulations. What kind of requirement is that? Let me pull that up for you all again. You see, I don't just like to talk. I like you to see. And this is why the government ain't opening their mouth. Because guess what? They will have to tell the international community, what did you require of them? Because if you didn't ask a man nothing, he didn't lie to you. He didn't defraud you. If you didn't ask him for nothing, if you just told a man, just come and set up shop, don't worry about that, we got this. This is Section 11. Financial requirements of digital assets business. Registrants shall meet all financial requirements as may be prescribed. This your country, man. I guess I just passing through, man. Because you're loving this. Because we keep voting for this. Commission shall keep registration of digital assets business. I mean, additional requirements for digital token exchanges. Prohibition to operate unregistered digital token exchange. Okay. Application for registration of token exchange. Subject to Section 9. All illegal entity intending to establish and operate a digital token exchange shall, in addition to making an application in accordance with Section 8, make application to the Commission by submitting Form 1 set out in Part C, etc. Provide the Commission for its approval a copy of the rules of the exchange, including rules for admission to listing of digital assets, etc. Submit to the Commission the applicable fee set out in the third schedule and any other document or information the Commission may require. You hear this? Listen, we have to go through more than this to set up. Someone say ASU. We have to go through more than this to get a permit to be a coconut vendor on the side of the road. Bahamians to set up a business in this country gotta go through the ringer and go through the ropes. This digital assets foolishness. Now you see why we in the trouble we in. This is it. Y'all share this, please. because the news media covered this, not one reporter grabbed this act and went through the act and said, this is foolishness. All them repeating the act over and over and over, none of them went to the act. How hard was this? Listen to the 3 things they got to do. They got to apply, say what their rules are for joining the exchange, and pay the fee. Approval or refusal. The commission shall approve or refuse an application under this part in its discretion. Jesus. Let's read the rest. Approval or refusal. Okay. The commission shall approve or refuse an application on this part in its discretion. Next. 2. The commission may approve an application for registration where satisfied that the applicant under this part is incorporated, established, or registered under any law of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Jesus, is fit and proper. Again, is fit and proper. And has sufficient capacity and resources to conduct an activity under this act. Welcome to the Commonwealth of Narnia. An applicant shall demonstrate to the Commission that it has appropriate and sufficient systems and controls to perform its functions and manage its risks, including fraud and market abuse, the ability to meet solvency standards and levels of capital as may be prescribed by regulations. And y'all let them come here with tokens with no backing? That has designed a digital assets framework which addresses but is not limited to the following: technology and security, governance, stability, identified risk framework, data protection and storage, adequate systems and controls. So they didn't off the money part. So now do you see why this happened? We have no real regulations or specific standard to check. So we're going to go and look and see what the rules are. Suspension and revocation. The commission may suspend or revoke registration of a digital asset business where the digital asset business is unable to meet the requirements for continued operation or has failed to comply with provisions of this act or any regulation, rules, or guidelines made and issued under. Suspensions or revocation would be in the public interest. The digital asset business is being marketed or advertised in a manner that is fraudulent or misleading. Any operator or issue of digital market business is convicted of a criminal offense involving fraud, dishonesty, digital market assets business. So they have, is declared bankrupt or goes into liquidation, etc., etc. So they have several things why they could take away their license. I'm going to skip through that because I can let you go read that for yourself. I'm looking for this big protection in these laws that they're bragging about, that they're confident in. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to look now for the registration, which is in section 47, I think. The process following surrender, wind up, or dissolution, where the commission has revoked any license under whatever, the commission may apply to the court for the registrant to be wound up or dissolved, or the court supervision of any application by the registrant, wind up and dissolution. Data protection. All right, they got to keep good records, conduct and compliance, duty to maintain professional conduct, act honestly and fairly. So if the man went on, well, I don't. This sounds like some kindergarten stuff, but anyway, the man went on Twitter and said they're still doing withdrawals even though all our assets are frozen and our license has been taken away, and we're doing the withdrawals in order to comply with government regulations. Let me see if there's any ramification for that, because the government said they're investigating. The police said they're investigating. So I guess we're here live. All how many thousands of us are watching this? We are here together investigating. Let's see what they should be looking for. Act with due skill, care, and diligence. I wish the government would act with due care, skill, and with due skill, care, and diligence. Observe and maintain high standard of professional conduct. Professional conduct, does that include wearing proper clothes when you go to a meeting? You think that includes that? You, no, that have to it says maintain a high standard of professional conduct. You think that means that? Does that mean you go to a professional meeting in short pants and t-shirt? Refrain from engaging in any improper or illegal conduct. Oh man. Maintain adequate financial resources and solvency. Well, he didn't have to maintain that because he didn't come with that. And y'all didn't check. Because y'all don't have to check. Because Section 11 says whatever slip goes. Have effective arrangements in place for the protection of the client assets and money. Have protective arrangements in place. Did y'all check to see if they had protective arrangements in place? Obviously, y'all didn't do that. So not only did he fail, our regulators failed. Have effective corporate government arrangements consist with guidelines issued by the Commission. Have system in place to prevent, detect, and disclose money laundering, terrorist financing, and suspicious transaction, according to whatever act. General duty to comply and cooperate. Every digital asset business industry shall comply with this act and shall deal openly and honestly and cooperatively with the Commission, duly provide information, etc., submit to on-site and off-site examinations. Submit to on-site and off-site examinations of the digital assets business as required by the Commission in the exercise of the functions. Wasn't the business located in his penthouse? That's where they was operating from. Anyway, I'll leave that. Um, Compliance is a part of the minimum, whatever. Prevention of money laundering and terrorism, etc. I'll skip over that. Initial token offerings. All right, so let's talk about initial token off. They already had a token, so that wouldn't be relevant. The offering memorandum, let me skip over that. Offer period, classifications. I'm going to get down to registration of initial token offerings. Okay, we didn't have that. Approval application, advertising, token offerings. Going to get down to the laws that may have been broken. Token register. All right, continuing obligations. There we go. Purchase rights to rescission and damages. All right, let's skip over that. Purchase right of withdrawal. I guess this may be what he's talking about. Purchase notice of withdrawal shall be made no later than 72 hours. All right, where purchaser has exercised the right to withdraw all funds paid by purchaser shall be paid over to the issuer, to the purchaser within whatever. I guess he may have been referring to this part of the act when he said he had to do withdrawals, but that's not what this is actually saying. All right, and if your license is revoked, that doesn't go for you. All right, but let's keep going. Investigations, power to inspect and investigate. All right, commission shall have power to conduct on-site, off-site inspections of the business, any registering, etc. The provision of this act and any regulations, rules, guidance, etc. The Financial Transactions Reporting Act. Okay, any relevant law. Notwithstanding Section 1, the Commission shall have the power to conduct such investigation that it considers necessary for the purpose of satisfying itself that a person registered in this act is complying with subsection 1. No unregistered person is engaged in activity. Okay? To conduct investigations and inspections. All right? And notice they ain't arrest this fellow or talk to him yet. Cooperative power. All right, skip over that. I want to get to the actual laws, but I just go into this while we go so you can get to see some of this nonsense. Um, A person shall not be required to disclose information or produce a document which that person would be entitled to refuse to disclose or produce on the grounds of legal professional privilege, in court proceedings, etc., etc. Oh, some things they don't have to give the commission. Anyway, let's skip over that. Um, all right, just going to this here. I want to go back to the law. Sorry, I want to go back to the punishment, offenses, penalties, and sanctions. Here we go. Let's see. Offense. A person who fails to comply with the provisions of this act commits an offense. So any provision they fail to comply with. Now, I wonder if that also goes to the government, because it didn't say the registrant. If the government didn't do their due diligence, did they commit an offense? Because it says a person who fails to comply with the provision of this act commits an offense. The government have some things that they should have done, and the question is, did they do it? That's the question. Every digital asset business or any of its employees, managers, officers, or other connection persons. I think they mean connected persons. Is that a typo in the law? Or other connection persons. What do you could help me with that? Should that be other connected persons or should it be connection persons? It's not like connected persons. It looks like they have a typo in our law. They just embarrass the country internationally again. Okay, but we'll leave that. Any connected person who fails to cooperate with the commission or obstructs or assaults any person appointed by or acting on behalf of the commission in the conduct of examination, inspection, or investigation commits an offense is liable to summary conviction to a fine not exceeding 5,000. Who? You know, stop it. Say what? Say what? Hold on. Sam do all this foolishness. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. That this have to be just for this subsection right there. This can't be for the whole thing. Commits an offense is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $5,000. See what? Okay, let's go to the general penalty section because that part there, that $5,000. So if Sam is okay, let's see. If Sam fails to cooperate with the commission, he said, "Listen, y'all go to hell." Or obstructs or assaults y'all. If y'all come there and he obstructs or assaults y'all, punch y'all in y'all mouth. Get out my $40 million condo. If Sam does any of those things, it's a $5,000 fine. If you are in this industry, you know you are dealing with big players with big money, with access to a lot of funds, especially people's funds. And you are protecting our law with a $5,000 fine, a fine not to exceed $5,000, because the fine can be $5, because it said just not to exceed $5,000. They didn't say a fine of $5,000, you know. They say a fine not to exceed, not exceeding $5,000. That means they could fine him $15 or a dollar or 1 cent. Now, the general penalty Any person who commits an offense under this act for which no penalty is provided. So they have a $5,000 penalty, right? But they say any person who commits an offense under this act for which no penalty is provided shall be liable on indictment or summary conviction to a fine not to exceed $500,000, which means it could be $100, or imprisonment of up to 5 years or both. So if you commit an offense under this act for which there's no penalty, I want to see who this makes sense to. They already tell you what the penalties are and what you pay. But now, if there's something for which there is no penalty, then you could get fined up to $500,000, and that could be $15 or $100,000, whatever they decide they want it to be, or imprisonment up to 5 years. So that could be, listen, let Sam go to jail for 2 days, so we could say he do time spent, and let's charge him 10 cents. We could say he pays something and let him go. Any person who willfully makes any misrepresentation or any document required to be filed, submitted, etc., willfully makes a statement or gives information required for the purpose of this act, which he knows to be material false or misleading. Knowingly fails to disclose any fact or information required to be disclosed for the purpose of this act, commits an offense. So if you make false claim, you have a more stiffer penalty than if you actually break the rules of this act. So here, you on conviction not exceeding $500,000 again, and in respect of each instance, imprisonment up to 10 years or both fine and imprisonment. That's if you make a false statement when you was registering, but they mightn't even ask you for nothing. This is the most vague and nonsensical act I have ever seen. So this is sanctions that they could give you if you do something wrong. Notwithstanding any other action which may be taken by the commission where there has been a failure to comply with this act, the commission may impose an administrative sanction for such failure, which sanction may include but not be limited to. So this means you don't have to get arrested, none of that kind of stuff. The commission could just say, hey, we can issue a public reprimand. We could tell you behave. Or they may say next is banning a registrant from carrying on certain activities or operations. Next, setting conditions or restrictions for the registrant. Issuing an order requiring the registrant complies with directions, etc., etc. I mean, I don't see anything in this that protects the industry, that protects the reputation of this nation. They need to bring this to an end immediately. Because there is nothing in this entire act. Nothing. The third schedule is having effect for fees. Let's look at the fees. Let's see what he paid to come here. The rules. Let's go down to the schedules and look at the fees because nothing in here making sense. All right, let's go. Oh, this is the first schedule. This is the application. Name of the applicant, full legal name, type of registration of the applicant, indicate the digital asset business for which the registration is sought, payment service value, etc., etc. So any of these stuff. Full business contact details, full details on founders, beneficial owners, significant interest holders, directors, and officers. Digital tokens of the applicant are traded on another digital token exchange in any jurisdiction. Provide the full details of listing. Provide a list of affiliates of the applicant and indicate nature of relationship, businesses and affiliates where incorporated. Full details on persons to be carrying on digital assets business on behalf of the applicant. Um, Discipline history, state whether the applicant or any founder, director, interest holder, an applicant has ever been disciplined by any stock exchange, etc. Declared bankruptcy, involved in any application for regulatory, dismissed from any office of employment, compulsory, wound up, etc. If so, please provide details. Operational capabilities, provide details. I waiting to see where they're going to submit their financials, etc. I don't see that. Provide detailed description of applicants' operational capabilities, including physical premises, cybersecurity protocols, data management, digital custody arrangement. Provide names, addresses of principal, bankers, digital custodians, digital assets, etc., etc. Policies and procedures. Provide summary of AML, this and that. Financial statements. The following must be submitted where the applicant has been established within 6 months of the date of the application and applicant has not commenced operations. A statement from the chief financial officer or equivalent of the applicant confirming that the applicant was not commenced trade has not commenced trading since the date of establishment, that no financial statement has been produced or dividends declared. Statement of financial position of the applicant from the establishment of application to the current date and no more than 3-year financial projections. All right, audit financial statements for the two financial years immediately prior to the date of the application, or if shorter, since, etc. The auditor report, interim financial statements, and this is coming from the company. Okay, let's see. They gotta be requiring you to bring in your bank statements to actually produce whatever your assets are, etc. If the applicant has any significant interest in holders that are companies, the applicant must also submit for each such security holder audit financial statements, etc., audit report, company, the most recent interim financial statements, etc., etc. Um, Other regulatory approvals. If the applicant is registered, licensed, authorized, etc. in the Bahamas, business plan, you got to produce a business plan. Contact person, that's Sam. Date of application, certification of signature, um, warning, intentional misstatement or failure to disclose, etc. Required attachments. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Copies of required financial statements. Uh, Proper insurance. You gotta have insurance. Lord. And an organizational chart. Evidence of applicant's good standing. A certified copy of the applicant's memorandum and articles. Evidence of the applicant's complete form. Jesus. Form 2. Personal questionnaire for director, etc. All right. Listen. This is the groundbreaking. Listen. Let me tell you something. When I was applying to IRCA to get a TV license, I had to go through more than this. I had to go through more than this. This this is the groundbreaking law that they're saying protects us. Wow. CEO, listen, man, this, oh my God. I think they better shut this down. I think they better shut all those registers down until we have an act that makes sense. I'm scrolling through the whole thing so y'all can see it. I don't want to skip over nothing. Jesus. Just going through the whole thing, letting you see it. Current regulatory details of information security officer. Um, oh my God. Wow. I see why we're in the situation we're in. Wow. I am not impressed at all. Application version of initial token offering. Okay, we didn't see that. I'm just going to this whole thing. Maybe there's someone at the bottom. Maybe it's something somewhere at the bottom. Contents of an offering memorandum. Okay, nope, nope, nope. Jesus, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna need y'all to pray for our country. There we go. We was looking for this. The fee schedule. No man, no man. What? Listen, man. There's multi-million, billion-dollar companies. Man, hold on. Sam only had to pay a $5,000 application fee for a digital token exchange, or let's say all other business. I don't know if he was really a he wasn't. I don't know if he was a digital token exchange. They have a digital token, but he might be all other digital assets business. Sam had to pay $3,000, unless he was a digital token exchange, then it would be $5,000. But all he had to pay was $3,000. Man, we need to go in this business. Man, y'all, let's create a digital token. What we call it? The conch coin. Let's call it the conch coin. All right? Let's create the conch coin and pay them $3,000. It's a $10,000 renewal fee, but Sam didn't make it to the year end. The license fee for chief executive officer is $350, or the compliance officer is $350. Filing fees for persons registered under Part 2 initial token offering. So we ain't no initial token offering. Administrative fees, appointment or change of directors. All this is nothing. All right. Placement certificates, name change, extension of interim statements. Name change is $300. And when y'all see this, they come with billions of dollars. Man, that's the end of the document. I don't know. I feel I'm looking for more. I'm looking for more. So Sam had to pay either $5,000 or $3,000, and he get to operate a multi-billion-dollar business. And every year, after making billions of dollars, all he had to pay was $10,000 for digital assets business, or if you have a digital token exchange, $15,000. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Commonwealth of Narnia. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I took long. I wanted to actually go through documentation with you. I think that is always important. Um, I'm going to open the phone lines and let you call in quickly. I'm going to do a few minutes on the phone lines. I need to hear from y'all, man. So, am I the only one who sees something wrong here? How y'all feeling about this, man? Y'all talk to me. Y'all talk to me. Because if you go and try to open a business right now, they're gonna have more requirements for you than you just read there. The number is 804-4264. 804-4264. As I'm opening the phone lines, I just want to say, remember that we are having a cookout, so make sure come and get your tickets. I think we got a week more. When is it, on the 24th? That is next week Thursday, not this Thursday. Next week Thursday is right here. All right, next week Thursday. And while we're waiting for you to call in, I want to say a special anniversary to Mr. Penniman's. That's them right there. Oh, she look like she in love. You see how she just holding on them and her eyes closed, y'all. She taking that picture with her eyes closed. That's love right there. Also, we didn't go live that week, and I want to say a special happy anniversary to the Griffiths. All right, the Griffiths. Yeah, we skipped the live that week, but they also had a special anniversary on the 11th when all this was going down. It was going down on their birthday. And also a special happy birthday to Miss Tanya Ferguson Strawn. Happy birthday to you. That's our girl down there in Grand Bahama. Just wants you to know that we love you, that we hope you enjoyed your day. We love you, and God bless. God bless. Someone says, excellent investigation and breakdown, Lincoln and team. All facts and evidence. Oh, we haven't even given you everything yet. It's so much. I don't even know where to start. There's so much more. You know, we have so much documents that we're going through and that we're investigating. You know, even down to the document between the Miami Stadium and and them. Miami Stadium is no longer called the, what do you call it, the FTX Stadium. It's no longer called that. But FTX owes them $16.5 million. $16.5 million. I can't go through it. I'll just give you a little quick scan of the document. Okay, a little quick scan. Let's get it up here. Get it up here. It's moving slow. Give me a call, 804-4264. How do you feel about all of this? Your government was taking all of your carbon credits and giving it to this company that was not properly regulated. Sorry, not properly checked. They obviously didn't check. They obviously didn't do their due diligence, because if they did, and you saw what Section 11 said, just whatever slip goes. No details. But this is the document. So we have everything. We've been doing a proper investigation, so there's more to come. Naming rights, an agreement. This Miami-Dade County, Florida, and West Realm Shires Services, Inc., doing business as FTX.US. And so this is the agreement between them. And based on this agreement, they are owed, and I can't go through this whole agreement because we're out of time. But based on this agreement, they owe the Miami Stadium $16.5 million. All right, so that's that agreement. Just wanted you to get a little quick thingam there. All right, it actually shows the breakdown of how much they had to pay. They had to pay some big money. They were paying. I think they started with the first year. They paid the first year fee was $14 million. Sorry, I pulled it down, but it's right here. For the first year, and then after that is $5.5 million. That increases periodically for until year 19 to $8 million. All right, that's the agreement they had. But they're going to have to pay a penalty because of the current situation. All right. So, all right, we've been going for almost 2 hours. I wonder if I have this. Been going for almost 2 hours. Oh, sorry, it's on Do Not Disturb. I'm sorry if you've been trying to call. Someone had the phone on Do Not Disturb. You can call in now. Okay, we see you were calling in. I'm sorry. All right, if you're calling, you can call back in. 804-4264. 804-4264 is the number. 804-4264. Ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely concerned that our government, in their slackness, compromise themselves, and they are now looking for a way to slither their way out. Our police are compromised. Everyone is compromised in this. The government is compromised. The entire nation is compromised because of the actions of our government. If this were any civilized nation, they would have been asked to step down already. For lesser things, because the previous Prime Minister of Britain put some policies in place that didn't work out, she had to step down. She just did some policies that didn't go well. In 44 days or so, she had to step down. We'll go to phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live. Good afternoon.
My call.
Go ahead.
You're doing a wonderful live tonight.
Thank you.
One of the questions I have is the Billy McFarland. Are they allowing him back in the Bahamas? I noticed everyone thinks that Bahamas is the best playground. I guess once you face the point, we really have to put a stop in foreign opportunists feeling confident that the Bahamas is a place to get away with such blatant illegality. Bahamians, we must stand up because at the end of the day, faith without work is dead. So my Bahamian brothers and sisters, God is with us in this fight. We have to continuously pray and fight for change. Mr. Bean, you're doing an awesome job. Bahamians, let's get with it. Stand up, let's demand accountability, and let's put our country leaders in place. They are responsible for governing in the best interest of our country. Our children's future are in their hands. Are we okay with their future being in their hands? Okay, our leaders are governing our country like novices. Brave Davis was in the House of Assembly for almost 50 years. We should be well experienced worldly on what is going on around the world and what is going on in our country. Everything they're doing is so premature and corrupt. And I am very, very disappointed with our Commissioner of Police. They should be wearing their suits with honor. There is no honor amongst them at all. They treat us like we are nobodies in our country. Nobodies. Fred Mitchell put out a voice note somewhat addressing the FTX situation. What type of address was that? Who was he addressing? It could not be Bahamian. That's how much disrespect they have towards us. And we're not going to tell us doubt. We are Bahamians in the Bahamas, and we deserve better. And I just want to say to my Bahamian brothers and sisters, our kings and queens, I am very proud of the information that you have been taking in. I am proud of the fact that you are now demanding accountability, that you are now demanding that our government be held responsible. You're speaking up and you're standing up. It might not be all of us, but at the end of the day, God only needs a few chosen. So I just want to say, continue doing the job you're doing, Mr. Bean, and thank you, Bahamas, for standing up.
All right. Thank you for your call. We appreciate it. Strong and powerful words there. I was going to play the message from Fred Mitchell, but I really don't want to hear his voice right now, any of them. All he said is we need to get back to empowering our people. That's really all he had to say about that we need. When is the PLP going to get to the point where they're empowering our people? I can answer that for Fred. Never. That is never, ever going to happen. The PLP will never empower the Bahamian people. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to touch on one thing before we go. All right. This was all over the papers today. Government travel budget goes up. 4.2 million spent on travel in July to September. I want to do some maths with y'all. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but I can do some maths with y'all. I like maths. $4.2 million in 3 months. $4.2 million in 3 months. July, August, September. $4.2 million. Jesus. What is that? $1.8 million per month? Jesus. Let me pull up the calculator so we can get this right. Y'all, let's do some calculations. And there's a reason I'm bringing this up that I want y'all there. Stay tuned. The reason I'm bringing this up. All right? Let's bring this up. So let's do that. 4.2. Very $4.2 million. And so that is divided by 3. Oh, sorry, it's $1.4 million per month. $1.4 million per month. All right. And if you times that by 12, that's 16.8 million. $16,800,000 for the year. So Brave and Clint them spending $1.8 million every month just traveling. Jesus. That's 16,800,000. That sounds like over budget already. $800,000 for the year. Now this what y'all ain't doing. Times that by 5 years. That's $84 million that these absolute clowns would have spent of our money. While Moores Island don't have teachers, other family islands don't have teachers, this one crying for their money, that one crying for their money, $84 million. We have the same hospital we had from we became independent. We have the same hospital we had from the 50s. And they're going to spend $84 million flying up and down and balling and vacationing. $84 million is what is scheduled to be spent on Brave Davis them balling. Why we ain't got no hospital? The hospital is in shambles. But look at this. Look at this. BBF, Bahamas Boxing Federation, looking to send 10-member team to boxing tournament. And the last-ditch effort to send a local boxing team to the Sugarbird Boxing World Boxing Council Tournament Series, the Boxing Federation is appealing for funds from corporate Bahamas or the general public to make the trip a reality. Jesus Christ. All they want to send is 10 people, 10 professional boxers. The Federation is looking to send 10-member team to the tournament in Kissimmee, Florida this weekend, the 3-day event. And they name some of the people who will go in, the heavyweights, the middleweights. They want to send 10 people to represent this country. 10 people who worked hard, trained, invested, who are going to share the Bahamas name in a good light. who are going to make us look good. These people got to go beg the general public. This the Commonwealth of Narnia. While they giving away our billions of dollars to foreigners, all our natural resources, while they're giving away our carbon credits to a criminal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Commonwealth of Narnia. Do you know why this gentleman that you see sleeping in his bean bag came here and spent $74.2 million on properties? That is how you hide money. That is how you store money. The property value is stable, it increases. And so you dump money in property. Many of the properties and condos you see building around here, One Ocean and all these other stuff, many of the condos and properties you see around here, that's crypto persons buying them up. Right now, property on the Eastern Road, crypto persons are buying them up. We are being run by a criminal organization called the Progressive Liberal Party. Our police force is now, in my opinion, because they received gifts from this gentleman, they're compromised. And the only way that the police, I mean, they got bought out with tablets. Like, what do our police do with tablets? What do they need tablets for? The audience in there said to give it to their children. Mm. And again, the police force has not arrested and not questioned the gentleman. I showed you the laws. There's more. Going live again on Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, we need change in this country. We need a new Bahamas. We need to leave that old Bahamas alone. These fellas are just corrupt. They are corrupt. They are corrupt. We go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hi.
Yes, go ahead. Don't listen to your device, just listen to me on the phone.
That's me.
Good night. Go ahead, listen to the phone. Don't listen to whatever you're listening to.
Yes, good night. How you doing?
I'm good.
I just wanted to let you know that I watched your Steve McKinney show.
Yes.
And I wanted to let you know that I heard your Steve McKinney show, and I was wondering
Just listen to the phone. Don't listen wherever you're watching this on. Don't listen to that. There's a delay. So you can turn it down and just listen to the phone, okay?
Okay, hold on.
Just listen to the phone.
I just wanted to let you know that the act.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, just talk. I can hear you.
The act that the Carbon Credit Act. How can we go about getting that act repealed?
Repealed? Right now, the only way to get the act repealed is to remove both the PLP and FNM from governance in this country. Now, we can hit the streets and beg them to do what's right, but if these fellas hard as sell out on stealing our carbon credits, which their law shows that is what Brave Davis wants to do, then us going and protesting, they're going to ignore us, and they're going to continue doing what they're doing. We have to make plans to remove this government. We have to get active and get organized to get rid of them. That is the only way. And get a government in there that's going to fight for the Bahamian people and that loves the Bahamian people. That's the only way right now. We tabled a bill to protect our borders, an immigration bill, to protect our borders, to protect our people, our sovereignty. We gave it to all the members of parliament. We gave it to the opposition and to the government. The opposition has done nothing with it because they were a part of the same immigration problem before this government. Now this government here, they're continuing it. They want the immigration problem. There's billions of dollars being made from it, and so there's nothing they're gonna do. And if Bahamians don't see what's really going on right now, all is lost. All right. Thank you for your call.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
There's gonna have to be a call to action. Bahamians are going to get serious. We are fully compromised. We're acting like a banana republic. So much more to talk about. We're going to talk about all this other stuff on Sunday. Wish I could cover everything today. But there is no groundbreaking act. The act is garbage. There is nothing to protect us. When Sam came, the only thing he had to do was say, all right, this my financial reports. But if he's fudging the books, who's doing the check and balance? Obviously, this fiasco showed that we are not ready, and we need to shut the door. We need to end this fiasco now. There are other countries with these laws in place. They keep bragging about these groundbreaking laws. It's garbage. Y'all shared this live, shared it. I'll take a couple of minutes. I'll take questions from online because I know you were posting some stuff there, but I didn't get to see it. Someone says millions traveling and we got no airports. I mean, that's crazy. You're going to spend $84 million, but you're looking for a buyer to build the airport in Freeport. Y'all make someone make that make sense to me. $84 million. Someone asked me where the money come from. That's your VAT money. That's your customs money. That's the money, the taxes when you put gas in your car. When you pay your property taxes. Go ahead.
So Miss Lovely Reckley down in Abaco did a live today.
Mm-hmm.
On her live, she spoke about the hospital, the clinic,
Mm-hmm.
and the roads. Now,
Go ahead.
Abaco contributed so much to the Bahamas in terms of revenue. We want to know, why is Abaco being treated the way that they are treating it? Abaco is surrounded by keys that are inhabited. Abaco has so many people, but yet they don't even have an operational clinic with medication. And our leaders are traveling around the globe, dancing on the stage, like, I am going to say it because it's facts and we have to start speaking truth to power. Dancing on the stage, entertaining the world like little monkeys. When our people are suffering, I can understand, Lincoln, if they actually put in the work to vacation. I can understand if when they travel, they come back and actually give a detailed report. But our people are suffering on the family islands. Moores Island is lacking teachers. But yet they always judge the Bahamians for being lazy and a de-averaged nation. but the nation is being led by the average leaders. And Bahamians, we should not be accepting this mediocre leadership.
Wow.
Enough is enough.
Wow.
We get biggity with each other, but we need to get biggity with our leaders.
Bahamians are not lazy. Bahamians are hard workers. Of course, there are lazy people from every nation and every country. They say, Haitians come to do jobs. Bahamians don't want to do. There's no job that I see Haitians doing that Bahamians don't want to do. Bahamians want to work construction, but they are being overrun. Bahamians are maids. There's been maids. The Bahamians are maids in the hotel right now. They are cleaning the toilets for the tourists right now. There's no job that anyone wants to do that Bahamians don't want to do. They say the Bahamians don't want cut grass. Bahamians are on the highway every day. You see them. They are cutting grass and raking it up and cleaning it every day. That's Bahamians out there. What you mean Bahamians don't want to do certain jobs? They are doing it. Bahamians want to eat. But y'all are making billions, giving these people fake permits, fake visas, and everything else, letting them come in our country and take over. And then you'll make the excuse that Bahamians don't want to do certain jobs. That's a lie from the pits of hell. Bahamians are doing lawn care, and in fact, that is reserved for Bahamians. And every time you drive on the highway or drive inside a certain road, you see the Bahamians right there working in the hot sun. What you mean Bahamians don't want to do it? They doing it. All right? I've had enough. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to send your stars. Thank you so much for the stars you've been sending. I can't see if we had any. Okay, we had some stars tonight. See Rudy Battle, thank you for your stars. I see Charlotte Green sent some stars. I can't see who else sent it. I don't know how to see who else sent it, but thank you everyone who sent stars tonight. We appreciate you. We love you. We appreciate it. You can still send stars after the live is finished. Please support the movement. We're having more and more people watching this on YouTube. Thank you so much. In fact, last time we broke a record on YouTube. YouTube overtook all of our Facebook viewers combined. And so YouTube literally had at one time, I think it was like 6.8 or 8.6 thousand people was on there at one time, while Facebook had hundreds on there at one time. So YouTube was our last live. YouTube was exploding, and so a lot of people are on YouTube again right now. But thank you for what you're doing. They are suppressing us on Facebook, and they are blocking certain things because they don't want the truth to get out. But ladies and gentlemen, keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading the message. You have to get this out there. Thank you all so much for tuning in as always. We're going to go live again on Sunday. Again, come and get your tickets. They're going to be here every day from 11 to 5. Come to the head office and get your tickets. You got to support the movement. Again, by next week, we're going to be officially launching some sanctuaries for single mothers, because a lot of people have told us that a lot of single mothers sleeping in their cars in this country. It's an epidemic. There are a lot of homeless people in this country. Women sleeping in their cars with their children. And so we had a few pledges from our last live of people saying that they want to assist. Someone said they'll buy some microwaves. Someone said, I think they're going to buy a couple more appliances. If you have access to sofas, ductless air conditions, whatever you can do to support, please, funds, money. Just get in contact with myself at 803-5995 or our chairman at 577-4158. And please help out. This is an effort that we're going to do. We're going to do into the future, and we're going to keep doing this. We're going to help as many as we can. We're going to try to get a situation where we could house at least 30 persons in 2 different locations. We're not about politics. We're about the Bahamian people. So the little that we have, we're going to do what we can with it. All right. So we want to thank all of you for your support. We need your help. So there's some people in some serious situations. There's some children literally having to sleep outdoors, terrified. There's some mothers sleeping outdoors with their children right now. right now. This is serious. One woman came to me recently and there was nothing I could do. She's sleeping in an abandoned house with her children. And we're speedily trying to get the shelter open so that we can help those persons. We're going to provide them a meal a day. This country is suffering, man. While these people literally partying, while and there's people who are proud to see them saying, "Oh, look at them dancing. That is so nice." They're dancing while people suffering in this country, man. People in the hospital sitting down. I mean, out there in the rain. We have a hospital that don't work. We have a dialysis center that is garbage. 50 years. I see them talking about the road to 50. And look at our roads. We can talk about this next time, but we've gone backwards. I was sitting down looking at every other country from 1970 to now, and it's like every other country has progressed. Haiti got freeways. Haiti got freeways, overpass, like what they have in Miami. Haiti got that. Right now, East Street roundabout, Blue Road roundabout, they should be overpasses, not roundabouts that still have traffic. Roundabouts don't work. You still have traffic. You should have overpasses where the traffic don't cross each other. We need a new Bahamas, man. We need a new Bahamas. I looked at pictures from the 1970s and 1980s at the Bahamas to now. We stuck in a time trap. I looked at Bay Street. I mean, I have the pictures ready. I was going to show them that, but we run out of time. We can talk on Sunday. Man. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe in a new Bahamas, and I'm going to fight for this. Y'all stand with me, man. This is for all of us. This is for all of us. My heart aches for this country. We could be so much better and do so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, see you Sunday at 5 o'clock.
I don't know how you did this in 50 years. You look at history. Who does this? Show me anybody else that has done this in 50 years. I'm waiting. Show them to me. This wasn't done by money. Money doesn't produce visions. Visions produce money. You've had leadership over here that were visionaries, great visionaries, and their vision was more about the people than the money, because you can't accomplish this in 50 years without loving your people first, because the people are the ones that's benefiting from this. Look at your health care. Look at your road system. Look at your highway system. Look at your airports. Who does this in 50 years? But who benefits? You're going to care about those people. It's something to be learned about what's been done over here that could be duplicated in the world, because there's people with this much money. You just don't have people with this much love for their people.